Today we are going to discuss about layers of scalp. So as you can see in this diagram, there are total 5 layers of scalp. First one is skin, second one is connective tissue layer, third one is aponeurosis, fourth one is loose alveolar tissue, and the fifth one is pericranium. So I have drawn this diagram which shows these 5 layers. I have also drawn arterial supply and the neural supply of the scalp. Over here I have drawn occipitofrontalis muscle. So let's start from layers of scalp. As you can see, the first layer is of skin. As you can see in this diagram, the skin has hair and as well as it has spacious gland. Second layer is of connective tissue. As you can see in this diagram, it has a fibrous septa. Fibrous septa are present in this layer that unites the skin to the underlying aponeurosis. This is the aponeurosis of a Fronto occipitalis muscle. So connective tissue layer also contain numerous vessels like veins and arteries. Arteries are the branches of external internal carotid artery. Third layer is of aponeurosis layer. It is shown with green dotted space. This aponeurosis this layer is basically a thin sheet that unites the frontal and occipital bellies of frontospitalis muscle. And laterally, this aponeurosis, which is also called epicranial layer, continues with the temporal fascia. The space below the aponeurosis is subaponeurotic space. This space basically is limited in front and behind by the origin of occipitofrontalis muscle, and this space extends laterally as far as to temporal fascia. Fourth layer is loose alveolar tissue layer. As you can see, loose alveolar tissue layer fills the subaponeurotic space and it connects the aponeurosis with the underlying pericranium. Emissary veins and small arteries are present in this loose alveolar tissue. The last layer, which is the fifth layer, is of pericranium. As the name is telling, pericranium covers the skull bones. So for the layers of scalp, we have a mnemonic SCALP, scalp. S for skin, which is the first layer. Second layer is of connective tissue layer, which is vascular in nature, highly vascular because it contains numerous vessels, arteries and veins. Arteries are the branches of external internal carotid artery. Third layer is of aponeurosis. Fourth layer is of loose connective tissue, and the fifth layer that covers the skull bone is pericranium. So this is a mnemonic for the layers of scalp. Now let's talk about origin and insertion of occipitofrontalis muscle. I have drawn occipitofrontalis muscle with frontal belly and occipital belly, as you can see in this diagram. Occipitofrontalis muscle. Let's discuss its origin and insertion. Occipital belly originates from the highest knuckle line of the occipital bone, and the frontal belly originates from the skin and superficial fascia of the eyebrows. This muscle is finally inserted over the epicranial aponeurosis. As you can see in this diagram, this is occipital belly from the highest knuckle line of the occipital bone, and this is frontal belly of occipitofrontalis muscle that originates from the skin and superficial fascia of the eyebrows. And finally, this muscle is inserted over the epicranial aponeurosis. This muscle is innervated by facial nerve and it moves the scalp on the skull and raises the eyebrows. When this muscle contracts, it allows the first 3 layers of the scalp to move forward and backward, and the loose alveolar tissue. When occipitofrontalis muscle contracts, it allows the skin connective tissue, and aponeurosis, 3 layers of scalp to move forward and backward. The loose areolar tissue layer of which is the fourth layer, allows the aponeurosis to move over the pericranium.